Morning, Greg.
How are you?
Very good, mate. Night brisk morning this morning.
Beautiful day.
Mate, see you got a couple of rods here, a couple of visitors' cars.
That's it, yeah. A few of them turned up at the gate, and so we thought, oh, well, they might as well park in the car park.
Mate, good looking crowd coming in. So, mate, tell us a bit about Viking and, how'd you end up in Bomaderry and all that sort of stuff?
Well, I started, obviously, like most of us, been mucking around with cars my whole life, and I was doing another job for a while and started building some cars at night just for fun, and I was just selling them so I could fund the next one. And about 12 years ago, made the move to Berry and from Sydney, and just thought I'll just build cars and just do that.
That would have been a nice change.
It was a beautiful
Sydney
change,
to Berry.
yeah. So built a big shed at the house at Berry and started building cars from there. And people wanted to get work done, and of course it wasn't very official in those days. So 2018 we got this building and sort of set up properly.
Yeah, so a good size, and obviously out in the commercial area, which is always good. And we're going to have a look through and see what some of the projects you got. And I've obviously had a sneak peek, and I see there's plenty of them.
Yeah.
So you're pretty busy. How long does it take for someone to get in here to get some work done?
Depends on what they need done. So there's a bit of a wait list, particularly in the body and paint restoration side. Obviously things spend a long time in that area of the shop. Smaller jobs, mechanical stuff, normally we can get people in pretty quickly. So, but yeah, a few months wait.
So the interesting thing there is, of course, is that you're not just building full cars. You'll do pretty much even compliance checks and all that sort of stuff.
We do rego checks, blue slips, and just servicing. As long as it's old and cool, we're up for it.
Awesome. All right, looking forward to having a look around.
For sure. So I've made a little bit of room in the front of each part of the shop so you can just sort of wander in and have a little sticky beak at what's going on inside, and I'll talk you through some of the projects, so please feel free to squeeze as many as you can in. Close that door, Josh. So this part of the shop is where we do the small mechanical work and the final assembly on the big build, so just the mechanical area of the shop. There's a bit of a mix in here at the moment. The only thing in here that we've built from the ground up is the green truck. A lot of you have probably seen that before. That was a top 10 at Summernat's car and top street machine at MotorX last year. So that's here now. It's finished on the show circuit, and its next move is engineering and for road rego. So we've got to make some changes in its show spec. It's not legal, so we have to change the exhaust, the ride height, a few other things so that it's legal for the road. So it will be here probably for a couple of weeks to get those things done. Then it's off to engineering. And then you'll probably see it on the road after that. The rest of these, it's another 56 here. That's just come to us from Sydney, from a client up there. It's had a lot of hands on it over the last few years, and he just wants someone to just go over it front to back and check all the different parts are all working together. It's already been engineered and street legal, but it definitely has some problems. So we've got to go through and find them all and fix them. The rest of these are, we've got the little 42 Chevy. Obviously it's on a 1-tonner chassis. This is a young local guy who's building this at home. He wasn't confident to do the brake lines, the fuel lines, and a few other bits and pieces, so he's just brought it to us for a little bit of help. We're always up for helping the DIYers with any part of the project that they can't do themselves, and it very much shows that not everything in this shop is the green truck. We do the whole range, we love to do all manner of work. So same story with this Mustang. It's a bloke from Ulladulla. He's bought it and knew it had some problems, so he's brought it to us. We have a 200-point check that we do on custom cars to check for any problems with any of the systems that could fail, make the car unroadworthy or unsafe, and also unreliable. So that's a lot of the thing that people come to us for. We've found a ton of things on this Mustang, from brake fluid leaks to vacuum leaks in the motor, a throttle that sticks on wide open, all manner of things that could have really killed the guy. So it's a process, and but you know, it's about making sure that the cars are safe for everyone, and you all know how important that is for us all to be able to keep doing it. So up the back here we have a bump side F100 that's just come in a few days ago. It was a 6-cylinder car. We've got here a brand new Gen 4 X Coyote. So this is the new version of the Coyote that's just come out. It's the first one we've had in the shop. The one in the green truck is the Gen 3, which was running for about 4 or 5 years. This one is much the same, but there are some differences. So it's given us some more challenges. It's got a 6-speed manual on it. So the customers started with just wants a Coyote swap, but now that it's here, it looks like we're doing everything, and this happens all the time. So people have an idea to do one thing, and we call it scope shift, and it pretty much happens on every car. So, yeah, anyway, so it's going to be here for a few months now, getting different front end, different suspension, rewiring, new fuel tank, new custom tray made for it. Plenty of work to do. So that's off on the way. The little 32 Roadster belongs to one of our very good customers that we do a lot of cars for. And I'm not sure who built it, but he bought it as a running car. Again, it had some issues, and just some of the parts he didn't like. He wanted things a bit dressier. So we've done the finned drum brake covers up the front, and ceramic coating the entire exhaust system, doing a rumble seat conversion in the back, and new wheels, new tyres, white walls, a bunch of little things. It's been to the motor trimmer that we use, which is Inside Rides down in South Nowra. They've done some trim work in it. Matt from Inside Rides does pretty much all of our trim work. So he did the green truck, and a few others that are here. So that's nearly finished now. That it had tail lights in the beaver panel, which we deleted. We're going to 37 lights down on the bottom. So there were 2 big holes cut in the back of that beaver panel. So our body guys filled those holes and have blended the paint, matched the custom colour, and so that's just been resprayed, the beaver and back in the rear quarters. So it just shows that the painters that I pay lots of money to are worth their salt. they can get it right every time. So lastly, in this room, we've got this 67 Firebird. That's also come to us from Sydney, and we're just doing some minor work on that, which is we've done a full coilover conversion, ride tech setup, front and rear, and mini tubs in the back so you can put some bigger rubber on it, and then custom 9-inch diff housing for the 4-link and that we've put in it. So the ride tech kit comes, and it's supposed to use the original leaf spring mounts, but we don't like that, so we changed that, and we're doing a new diff and doing proper 4-link mounts on it, not just a mishmash of leaf spring and 4-link. So that's almost done. We're just waiting for the diff center to be finished, and then that will go back together and that goes home. So again, it has been here a little while, mainly because we're waiting for the parts to come from America, and then obviously the diff to get built once we had the parts and we could set it up. So we have to get the housing from the diff builder, do our work, weld our brackets on, and then the housing has to go back and get re-straightened every time. Whenever you touch it with a welder, it will move. So we always send the housings back, get them re-straightened, and then they come back again, and then we paint them. So the rear end is currently in the paint shop where it's been painted in the last couple of days. So this is, looks like one room, but it's kind of two distinct areas. Over here is where we do the chassis work and the fabrication. At the moment, things are a little bit sort of poked wherever they fit. That was just so we could empty out the sheet metal shop next door for the garage sale. And there's still a couple of cars tucked in the corners in there, but we did pull some of these out. So to talk you through what's going on this side, this old ambulance up the top has been a very long-term project we're doing for an old local guy. It was his brother's car, who I think bought it direct from the auctions when it finished its service as an ambulance. So it's got a lot of sentimental value to it. And it's been a bit of a labour of love for us, but we're slowly getting there. So it gets a little bit of work here and there as he can afford it. The EH panel van next to it is a bit of a basket case, but again, it has a lot of sentimental value to the owner. We did suggest that we find another shell, and he said, no way, it has to be that car. So it has to be that car. So pretty much it will get completely dismembered and fixed all the way back up. It's going to be here for a long, long time. But, you know, a lot of the owners are very sentimental about the cars. A lot of them have a lot of history in their families and whatever, and so that certainly comes into account. Not everything is economically viable, but it's got other value to the owners. This old Inter truck, and I was talking about scope shift before. There's a fella from Goulburn he's a young guy and he's got a trucking company, and he wanted sort of a display vehicle for his trucking company that he could drive every day. And he bought it to us just to do the floor pans. But again, with the scope shift, now we've got it on an F350 chassis, which we had sitting in the garden for a few years, because he wanted to do a V8 and he wanted to do disc brakes and whatever. So we said, look, let's just change to a different chassis. It's been shortened, so you can see the fish plates done. So that gets done in accordance with the engineer, how he wants that done. You can see the amount of bolts in there and the C-channel fish plate. And that's over a diagonal weld and properly shortened. So there's a lot of rust in the back of the cab. You can see we've started remanufacturing the bottom of the cab. It's very much not finished yet, but that's sort of some of the sheet metal work that we can do. And then he turned up with a 400 cubic inch Michigan Ford motor, which we put in it with a C6. Which is good, and because it's an F350, he can still be able to carry a couple of tons on it, so it'd be quite useful for him. The blue cab goes with the chassis that's on the chassis table over there. So it's what's called a F250 Highboy from the mid-70s. It was a 4x4 truck. Before they started doing 4x4 F trucks, they did the F250s in what was called a Highboy, solid front and rear axle. So the chassis was okay, it had a lot of rust in it, we've had to do a lot of work on it, but the body was completely trashed. So the owner bought the blue one, which was an American body with a bump side. So we're putting an earlier body on it, but a really good shell, and it's got the tub and everything complete. So that's getting right-hand drive converted, so you can see we've changed the dash. That's been taken out of the old cab for right-hand drive, and then the plenum's been lifted, the wiper sweep reversed, the firewall's been converted, and it should go back on, and all the boosters, pedals, everything will just be exactly where they were before. It's a lot of work, but it's a good way to go. And it's pretty much going to be a standard truck other than that Cleveland motor, which is being rebuilt up at Shane's Race Engines. And it has a divorce transfer case, so it's unlike the later stuff. So, and that's, where we do the chassis table you can't really see, unfortunately, because it's behind there. But we bought that off another car builder a few years ago who was closing up, and it's really good. In the little room there is our polishing area. So we do all the metal polishing in there, just sort of keeps it contained. We bought that equipment off Grant Peck when he closed up, and it's been really, really handy to have it here. So This side is the paint prep area. So the paint shop is next door and we will go and have a quick look at that. But this is where the guys do all the blocking and everything to keep the dust out next door. So the little FX is just been parked in here because it was where we're going later. That's an old guy's car, just has a red motor in it and it just needed some work to get it back on the road. It's certainly not a build here, we just did some minor works to it. The Bronco at the back, the early 80s Bronco, is a full build here. So obviously it's been converted to two-wheel drive and it's been converted into a ute. So all the rear section behind the seats has all been made from scratch. The Broncos, if you're not familiar, are a walk-through with a fiberglass canopy originally. So it's now two-wheel drive and it's running the Gen 3 Coyote with the 10-speed auto. And that should be finished around the end of the year. So, but you probably won't see it because the customer's from Byron Bay. So the 73 Mustang is a local car. And we started it a few years ago. It went on hold for a couple of years and we've just kicked it off again. So it's just, from here on in, it's just paint and assemble. It's got a Stroker Windsor motor that's been built for it, again by Shane's Race Engines. And it's going into a light blue probably. He hasn't exactly decided on the colour yet, but we need to know very soon because it's pretty much ready to go. Yeah, but it's, other than that, actually we've done 4-link in the rear. It's got a brake upgrade. Yeah, other than that, it's fairly standard car. The rest of this, obviously, we've got our panel racks for all different projects, things that are waiting. You know, mostly sitting in epoxy primer. We use almost exclusively PPG products here for our paint. Yeah, so any questions about this, any of this?
You got your own in-house engineer or you outsource that?
For the certification? Yeah. No, we outsource that to Think Engineering. Yeah.
So Greg, if the money's there,
yep.
a project like this, what sort of timeline does it take you to bring them into?
Depends on the amount of modification involved.
So like this car here, for instance, if
it was done non-stop, probably 18 months to 2 years.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So, and there's a lot of factors that affect how long the projects take. It's the budget for the owner, what we've got going through the shop and the managing all the projects through. So obviously the guys can only work on so much at a time. And
something like the green pickup, like a big build?
The green pickup was 3 years before it went to MotorX first. Obviously that's another year now and we're doing some changes. But yeah, there's a lot more work in the green truck than the Mustang. Yeah. So you know, that extra year is all in fabrication and also the paint work on it. Every little tiny piece painted in 2-pack and different colours and different finishes. So, so that's where all that extra time goes.
Is it local?
The FX, Bateman's Bay. Yeah. So. I think it's been in his garage for over 20 years. So he just drove it in there one day and, sorry? No. Yeah. So. All right, so we're going to have a look at the paint shop. In the paint shop, there's a little foyer. I don't want anyone to go beyond the foyer because there's freshly painted cars in there, but you can see through the windows. You're not all going to fit, so if you just want to cycle through, have a look through the window. At the moment, there's an FE Holden, which we've done a full restoration and paint job on, sitting there right in front of the window. Behind that is a Valiant station wagon, which we're just doing some repairs on. That's about all you can see, but by all means, feel free to wander in, have a look through the window and wander out.
Because you can stay out here and talk to them because I can hear you. Yeah.
Yep. FE, yep.
Is that going to be all original?
All original, yeah. Yeah, he's the owner's fastidious about originality. So making sure we've got the right looking bolts and all of that, yeah. Thank you, yeah. Yeah.
How long have you been working on that?
That's probably about, I think about 18 months. I've had that here, yeah.
Right.
So, obviously it's a rotisserie job.
Yeah.
So all underneath was done, rust repair and everything. So, again, a lot of little parts. So we not sure how far he's going to get us to take it. Originally we were just going to do the paint. Yeah. But then of course he's like, oh well, let's put the motor in, so I'm not doing it over. And this blah 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 goes on. So we had to paint the firewall first, put the subframe on, put the motor in. Yeah, but pretty much we're going to paint the panels, the rest of them, which is just the front clip and the boot lid. Yeah. Hang those and then see what he wants to do next. Yeah, that's a local car from Bomaderry.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got another one which was restored 20, 30 years ago, which took out top FE at the All Holden Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Lots of projects, and also there was a bit of a garage sale going on, so have a look at all the bits and pieces here. So obviously doing this for a long time, they've managed to put a lot of bits together. Look at all them carbies. So I see a few guys walking out with those, and they were all priced really well, and even had a few freebies along the way as well, and a couple of cars in the background here that weren't covered in what Greg was showing us. So the big caddy there, another pickup, it's got one of their front ends in it, I think, by memory. So nice independent front end going in there. So obviously do a lot of different work. Another early Holden on the hoist. And it was good that they went to the trouble to do this, because it would have taken a day or two, I reckon, just to get everything organised and out of the way and safe for people to come and have a look. And of course, having a camera in my hand, I got a bit closer look than most. So this obviously is their fabrication area. Got some folders and some metal working in the background there. How'd you like to be trying to do straighten them quarters up and get them filled and ready for paint? Man, there's some effort in that. So I see they had a compressor out the front, so that's obviously the new one, a bit of lathe work, and then out the front there was a whole lot more, so you could have got yourself a start for a hot rod maybe, some old tools and things, and even a V8 sitting on a pallet. So it was good to go down, catch up, caught a few locals while I was there as well. So a big shout out to Greg and his staff for having us all in for a look at what they do. A good opportunity to check it out, and we'll continue to bring you more shed tours in the future.